Imagine an artist so brilliant. Legends like Etta James, Stevie Wonder, and Sam Cooke called him their favorite. They said he could have been bigger than Frank Sinatra, Sam Cooke, and Nat King Cole combined. He was the first member of the infamous 27 Club. This is Jesse Belvin, the Mr. Easy R&B genius. But his dazzling career and life ended tragically at just 27, alongside his young wife in a horrific car crash. Many believe it wasn't an accident. Was Jesse Belvin murdered? Let's uncover the astonishing and heartbreaking story of a pioneer whose voice was silenced too soon. Jesse Belvin was a natural-born musical genius. His mother once sent him to the store for milk, and when he returned minutes later, he had written 4 songs on the milk bag. That's how he earned the nickname Mr. Easy. He was a gifted pianist, prolific songwriter, and a singer with a golden voice. His most famous song, Earth Angel. He wrote it while in the army. But here's the kicker. His friends stole it from his house while Jesse was away, and the Penguins recorded it. Jesse's mother used to let his friends play their piano, the only one in the neighborhood, and Jesse's songbook was right there. Jesse had to come home early from the military to fight a court battle for his royalties once he heard Earth Angel on the radio. The beef over that song got so deep. Rumors spread. There was a street war over it, but Jesse eventually got his credit. Earth Angel became one of the first R&B singles to cross over onto the pop charts, selling over 1 million copies. They say it was the first song to truly bring white and black people together during that segregated time, especially teenagers. In the 1,950 seconds, black artists knew little about the music business. Jesse would write songs fast and sell them for a mere $100 to help his family. He'd write for friends, get them deals, and get caught in multiple contracts, often using different names because he just loved making music and needed the money. But then came Joanne. Joanne Belvin, his wife, would play a monumental role. She was the only one Jesse could truly trust. She studied all his contracts, learning how to negotiate, becoming his songwriting partner and later his manager. A black woman manager in the 50 seconds? That must have scared the industry. Jesse's talent was undeniable. His song Guess Who hit the top 40 pop charts and number 7 on the R&B charts, earning him 2 Grammy nominations in 1959. It was actually a love letter written by Joanne to him when he was in the military during the Korean War. This showed their incredible partnership. When it was time for Jesse to sign with RCA Victor Records, Joanne made sure his deal was groundbreaking. She negotiated a contract like Elvis Presley's, including movie deals. And get this, part of Jesse's duties at RCA was to be the vocal coach for Elvis Presley. They paid Jesse to help teach Elvis. Joanne and Jesse were the blueprint, showing black artists the business side of the game, making sure Jesse wouldn't get screwed out of his money. But despite his success and Joanne's savvy, Jesse faced immense pressure. RCA wanted to market him as the Black Elvis Presley, a smooth ballad singer on the same level as Nat King Cole, to appeal to white audiences. They were in fierce competition with Capitol Records and Nat King Cole. But while trying to make his record label happy, Jesse felt he was losing his loyal black fan base. So he decided to join the R&B Caravan Tour, an all-black roster, and the first rock and roll show of 1,960. He had a show lined up at the 2,600-seat Robinson Auditorium in Little Rock, Arkansas, alongside Sam Cooke, Jackie Wilson, and other stars. This wasn't a typical Chitlin circuit tour. This was planned as the first integrated show ever in the state of Arkansas, bringing white and black teenagers together for the first time. Little Rock, Arkansas, was a powder keg of racism. Just a few years earlier, the Little Rock 9 incident had happened, where 9 black students faced physical and verbal abuse trying to integrate Central High School, requiring the National Guard to protect them. One black student even had acid thrown in her eyes. The hatred was palpable. Jesse, coming from California, had experienced racism, but the Deep South was a whole different ballgame. What he saw terrified him. He called his mother multiple times, telling her about the hatred he and the other R&B stars were experiencing. His mother, who usually heard from him every couple of weeks, became deeply worried after receiving 3 nervous calls. Jesse Belvin's popularity was just as big as Sam Cooke's and Jackie Wilson's, and he had already received death threats that week. This show was a dangerous gamble. At the Little Rock concert, white supremacists packed the crowd, shouting racial slurs at Jesse, Jackie Wilson, and the other black artists. They urged white teenagers to leave, furious at the sight of white and black people mingling in one room. They started throwing glass bottles from the mezzanine and fighting with black audience members. It got so bad the show had to be stopped twice. Jackie Wilson even refused to perform, getting into a heated argument with the promoter and police. After the show, things escalated. Jesse Belvin, Jackie Wilson, Sam Cooke, and the rest of the black artists were not just escorted, but ran out of town. The promoter wanted them to perform a second show, but they refused. They were ordered to leave town at gunpoint. It was ugly. Jesse had already received at least 6 death threats from angry whites. The next stop was Dallas, Texas, and more death threats were already coming in. As they walked to their cars, they saw about 5 young white men near Jesse's and Jackie Wilson's vehicles. One witness claimed 2 men blocked the view of Jesse's car while another was underneath it. Somehow, Jesse and his group managed to escape, leaving Arkansas in Jesse's black Cadillac. Inside were Jesse, his wife Joanne, his friend and guitarist Kirk Davis, and their driver, Charles Shackelford. Now, about Charles Shackelford. He had recently been Ray Charles's driver, but Ray fired him because of his reckless driving. Ray Charles wrote in his autobiography that Shackelford liked to hang around shows instead of sleeping, even though he had to drive long hours and he liked to drink. Hours after leaving Little Rock, Shackelford, driving Jesse's Cadillac, somehow lost control. He veered into the oncoming lane of traffic, resulting in a horrific head-on collision. The car exploded, bursting into flames. Other musicians on the tour, following far behind, saw a horrible red glow light up the sky where the 2 cars collided. Jesse Belvin and the driver, Charles, were killed instantly. His wife, Joanne, was also in the car. She was rushed to the hospital with severe injuries and put into a coma. A week later, she died from her injuries. But here's the crazy part. According to Etta James's book, Rage to Survive, the hospital refused to treat Joanne until they got money. She remained untreated until someone contacted Jackie Wilson, who drove all the way from Dallas, Texas, back to Arkansas with cash for the doctors. But it was too late. Joanne died, having been left untreated with a crushed pelvis, chest, and broken arm. Etta James also said Jackie Wilson told her the crash was Shackelford's fault. He fell asleep at the wheel. Everyone else in the car was asleep. Jesse, right before the crash, grabbed Joanne's head and shoved it beneath the car radio, which likely saved her life for that moment. But Jesse went through the windshield and was nearly decapitated. Jesse's guitarist, Kirk Davis, sleeping in the back seat, was injured but survived. He was the only one to make it, but he has never given an interview about what really happened that night. He was also badly hurt and in a coma, so he might not remember. The couple in the other car, a husband and wife from Milwaukee, also died, making a total of 5 lives lost that day. When police arrived at the scene, one of the first state troopers stated that both rear tires on Jesse Belvin's black Cadillac had been obviously tampered with. He said they looked like they had been slashed, but after making that statement, he gave no more details. This made people immediately suspect foul play. There was no evidence from the crash scene, no notes, no photos, no report was ever filed. Given the police's attitude towards black people in the 1,950 seconds and 60 seconds, when news of Jesse's death reached the black community, they automatically assumed foul play, especially because it happened in the Deep South. Jackie Wilson, deeply upset by Jesse's death, wanted his lawyer to investigate. He himself had car trouble right after the Little Rock show, making him wonder if someone had tampered with his tires too. When he got to Dallas and Jesse hadn't arrived, He called Jesse's mother, who hadn't heard from them, remembering the white men around their cars, one even underneath. Before they left Little Rock, suspicion grew. A head-on collision could cause a car to explode, and Shackelford did have a history of drinking and nodding off, but the tampered tires and the lack of investigation were undeniable. Jesse Belvin and Joanne were buried side by side in Los Angeles. After Jesse's death, Sam Cooke, who had learned much about the business from Jesse and Joanne, signed with the same label, RCA Victor. In the Netflix documentary, The Two Killings of Sam Cooke, it shows Sam was so upset by Jesse's death that he boycotted a segregated show in Memphis, risking his life. Jesse and Joanne left behind 2 sons. Jesse Belvin Jr. is working on a book about his father's life, hoping to uncover the truth about his parents' deaths. He believes Earth Angel might have been the reason they lost their lives. Joanne, with her foresight, had put her children's names on the publishing rights, ensuring they would live off the royalties. Jesse Belvin was also the first member of the infamous 27 Club, a chilling fact that adds another layer of mystery to his early demise. Jesse Belvin, a pioneer, a true genius, died at just 27, and his brilliant wife Joanne at 25. What if he hadn't played that show in Little Rock? What if his tires hadn't been tampered with? His music still touches souls, but his story remains shrouded in unanswered questions. Was it a tragic accident, or was it murder driven by the hatred of a segregated era? We may never know the full truth, but we can ensure Jesse Belvin, the Mr. Easy who changed music and inspired legends, is never forgotten. Listen to his music. Share his story. Let's hope his son's book finally brings closure to this enduring mystery.